Many believe the end of their strength is the end of their story. That is the most dangerous lie the soul can entertain, a whisper from the adversary designed to paralyze and steal your hope. It's a deception that says when you've poured out every last drop of your energy, when you've exhausted every human possibility, then it's time to concede defeat. But I am here to tell you that this is a profound and fundamental misunderstanding of the divine economy. Your exhaustion, that very point of depletion, is not the conclusion. It is often the preface to an entirely new chapter written by a hand far greater than your own. Because the end of your rope is not a cliff plunging you into an abyss of despair, but rather it is the very place where the hand of Dios is waiting to take hold. Imagine that moment, your grip slipping, muscles aching, fear gripping your heart, only to feel an unexpected, powerful, and utterly reliable hand clasp yours, pulling you upwards from the brink. This isn't a mere platitude. It is a spiritual truth forged in the crucible of human experience and divine intervention. When you have nothing left, that is when He has everything to give. You have been taught that when a door closes, the story is over, that it signifies a finality, a definitive conclusion to a path you hope to walk. But I am here to tell you with every fiber of my being that when man closes a door, when human systems fail, when opportunities vanish before your eyes, it is often not a sign of termination, but a powerful indicator that Dios is about to intervene on a scale you cannot yet comprehend. He is about to tear down a wall, to open a passageway that no man could ever construct or obstruct. Man's barriers are merely temporary inconveniences for the one who spoke the cosmos into existence. Your exhaustion is not a sign of your failure, beloved friend. It is not an indictment of your effort or a judgment on your capacity. Instead, consider it the preparation for His power. Just as a field must lie fallow to be ready for a rich harvest, or an athlete must push to the point of fatigue to build greater strength, so too does Dios allow moments of profound weariness to ready your spirit for an infusion of His supernatural might. He is not weakening you. He is making room for Himself, for a strength that transcends your human limitations. He is creating a dependency that will ultimately lead to an undeniable demonstration of His glory. What you perceive as the final word of your circumstances, that doctor's report, that financial statement, that relationship breakdown, that unyielding opposition, is merely the silence before the thunder of His arrival. It is the hushed pause in the orchestra before the crescendo, the moment of tension before the grand revelation. Do not mistake the quiet for an ending. Do not confuse the stillness with abandonment. This is not the conclusion of your journey. This is the sacred ground where your strength is humbly exchanged for His, where your finite logic bows in reverence to His infinite mystery, and where your perceived ending becomes the blank, glorious canvas for His new beginning, painted with colors you never imagined. You have walked through seasons of silence so profound, so heavy, that the air itself seemed to mock your pleas. You began to wonder if your prayers were even reaching the heavens, if your voice was lost in the vast, indifferent expanse of the cosmos. The echoes of your petitions seemed to bounce back unheard, unanswered, leaving you with a gnawing doubt in the deepest recesses of your soul. This feeling of being unheard, of crying out into what feels like an empty void, can be one of the most agonizing experiences of the human spirit. It challenges the very foundation of belief, leading to questions that can shake the most steadfast faith. You have faced mountains so imposing, so unyielding in their stony silence that your own spirit, once vibrant and resilient, began to whisper the insidious word impossible. These mountains were not just physical obstacles, they were circumstances that loomed large, casting long shadows of despair over your entire landscape. Perhaps it was a terminal diagnosis, a relentless financial crisis, a broken family dynamic, or a dream that seemed forever out of reach. In the face of such insurmountable odds, the human spirit, left to its own devices, can easily succumb to the lie that there is no way forward, no path through the granite giants blocking your future. I have sat with men, strong men, men of conviction and character, whose shoulders were slumped not by the honest weight of physical labor, but by the crushing, invisible burden of unanswered prayer and delayed hope. Their eyes, once bright with faith, now held a deep, weary glaze. They felt forgotten, overlooked by the very DOs they had served with unwavering dedication for years, even decades. The enemy of their souls capitalized on this vulnerability, whispering accusations of worthlessness, suggesting that their faith was in vain and that their service had been disregarded by the Almighty. These were not weak individuals, but devoted followers experiencing the profound spiritual ache of what felt like divine indifference. But the truth, my friends, the liberating, soul-anchoring truth is this: Dio's silence is not his absence. It is not an indicator of his neglect or a sign of his disinterest. Far from it. His stillness is, in fact, his intense focus. Think of a master artist, deeply immersed in the most intricate, delicate details of his masterpiece. He does not speak while he applies the final, most intricate details to his masterpiece. His concentration is so absolute, his vision so clear, that he enters a state of profound quietude, fully absorbed in the act of creation. In that moment, he is not ignoring the world around him. He is concentrating on the precise, beautiful unfolding of his vision. In the same way, Dios is not ignoring you when he is silent. He is not oblivious to your cries or indifferent to your pain. He is concentrating on you. He is working in the unseen, beyond the veil of your natural perception, orchestrating a cosmic dance of events. He is aligning constellations of circumstance that you cannot yet perceive, moving people, opening doors, closing others, arranging resources, and preparing hearts, all with divine precision. He is meticulously crafting a breakthrough so precise, so perfectly timed, and so undeniably powerful that when it finally arrives, it will leave no doubt in anyone's mind that it was orchestrated by a divine hand. It will bear the unmistakable signature of the Almighty. Miracles are not dusty relics of a bygone era, confined to the faded pages of ancient texts, only to be read about as historical accounts of a distant God. They are not museum pieces, distant and inaccessible. No, beloved, miracles are the native language of our DOs. They are his daily mode of operation, his preferred method of communication in a world desperately needing evidence of his power and love. The very fact that you are here listening to this word, after the battles you have endured, after the storms you have weathered, after the trials that sought to consume you, this is a living, breathing testament to the miraculous grace that has sustained you. It is not an accident. It is divine design. You are a walking, breathing miracle. Consider the precise convergence of events, the delicate balance of your physiology, the countless moments of protection and provision you've experienced, even unknowingly. The world, in its limited understanding, may call your survival luck, coincidence, or sheer human resilience. But you and I, who have felt the intimate touch of the divine, we know the deeper truth. It was the hand of Dios that held you together when you were about to shatter into a million pieces. It was his whisper, so gentle, yet so potent, that kept the flame of hope alive in the fiercest, most suffocating storms of your life. It was his breath that fanned the embers of your faith when they were almost extinguished. Do not belittle the miracle of your own survival, nor diminish the quiet, consistent faithfulness of Dios in your life. It is the proof that Dios is not finished with you. It is evidence that His plan for your life has not been derailed, nor His purposes thwarted. Your very existence in this moment is a powerful living testimony to His enduring commitment. It is the foundational bedrock upon which He is about to build something far greater, far more magnificent, and far more impactful than you have ever dared to imagine. He is not just the Dios of the grand historical parting of the Red Sea. He is the Dios of your present impossibility, the one who delights in defying the odds in your personal story right now. Perhaps you find yourself in a spiritual desert today. Your soul is parched, dry, and aching for spiritual refreshment, like cracked earth longing for rain. Your heart is weary, burdened by the long journey and the relentless heat of your circumstances. The landscape of your life seems barren and unforgiving, stretching out endlessly with no oasis in sight. You have cried out for rain, for a refreshing downpour of hope and intervention. But the heavens have remained like brass, unyielding and silent, reflecting your despair back to you. This desolation can feel like a punishment, a place of abandonment. But I urge you to listen to me carefully. The desert is not a graveyard where dreams go to die and hopes are buried. It is a classroom, a sacred space designed for profound revelation and spiritual maturation. It was in the desert, amidst the stark, silent beauty of the wilderness, that Moses met Dios in a burning bush. It was there that he was stripped of his princely identity and forged into the humble leader who would deliver a nation. It was in the wilderness, during his years as a fugitive, tending sheep, that David penned psalms of profound intimacy, discovering the shepherd's heart of Dios amidst his own trials and fears. And it was in the solitude of the desert that our Savior, Jesus Christ Himself, was prepared for His ministry, facing temptation and emerging with an unshakable resolve. The desert stripped Him of earthly distractions, clarifying His mission and solidifying His reliance on His Father. Dios leads His children into the desert not to abandon them, not to punish them, but to strip them of all that is not of Him. Their self-reliance, their worldly comforts, their false securities, their pride. It is there in the desolate places that they may learn to depend on Him alone, to truly know Him as their sole source. He is teaching you that He can bring forth water from a seemingly impenetrable rock, providing refreshment where there is none. He is demonstrating His ability to provide manna from an empty sky, sustaining you miraculously when all earthly provisions cease. Your barrenness, that very condition of perceived lack and desolation, is not a curse. It is the precise, divinely ordained condition required for Him to display His supernatural provision in a way that leaves no doubt, a way that will compel you to declare, only Dios could have done this. He is preparing you to see His hand move in ways that will transform your understanding of His power and His care. What Dios is truly seeking from you in this season is not your perfect understanding, for His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are deeper than our thoughts. He is not demanding that you grasp the intricate blueprints of His plan, or that you comprehend every twist and turn of your journey. No, beloved, what He is seeking is your trust. He does not ask you to have the entire map to see the final destination or every step along the way. He simply asks you to take the next step in faith, to place one foot in front of the other, trusting that the one who guides you knows the path intimately. He is searching the earth, scanning the hearts of humanity for a heart that will, even in the face of overwhelming odds, declare with unwavering conviction, I do not see the way before me, but I know the way maker, and He is leading me. He yearns for a spirit that will whisper, even through tears, "I do not feel the change I desperately long for, but I trust the unchanging one whose character is constant and whose promises are eternal." And he longs for a soul that against all logical evidence will proclaim, "I will believe in the promise he has given me, even when the circumstances around me preach a sermon of utter despair and impossibility." This kind of faith is rare, precious, and profoundly powerful. That kind of faith, my friend, is not passive. It is not a gentle hope or a quiet wish. It is a spiritual force, an active, dynamic power that engages with the divine. It is the key that turns in the lock of the supernatural, unlocking doors that have been sealed shut by human limitation and satanic opposition. It is the very thing that moves the heart of Dios, capturing his divine attention and commanding the intervention of heaven itself. This faith does not passively wait for a miracle, it actively draws the miracle into being. If you believe, even with faith as small and seemingly insignificant as a mustard seed, that his promise is for you, that it is specifically destined for your life, your situation, your future, then I invite you to declare it right now. Seal this truth in your spirit by writing a simple amen in the comments below. Let that declaration be more than just words. Let it be your banner of trust in this season of waiting. Let it be a public proclamation to the visible and invisible realms that you choose to believe, that you choose to trust, that you choose to align your heart with the divine promise. This act of declaration, simple yet profound, solidifies your conviction and releases a spiritual energy that begins to shift the atmosphere around you, preparing the ground for the miraculous seed of his promise to blossom into full reality. Your amen is not just an affirmation, it is an act of spiritual warfare and a statement of profound confidence in your Dios. There is a divine wisdom in Dios timing that our finite minds, limited by earthly calendars and human expectations, can scarcely comprehend. We look at a situation through a narrow lens, focusing only on the immediate, the tangible, the visible. But Dios sees the grand tapestry, the eternal blueprint, the cosmic choreography of every event. You may see a delay, a frustrating pause in your progress, but Dios sees development. He is not stalling your journey. He is diligently cultivating something essential within you and around you. He is using every moment of waiting to bring you to a place of greater maturity, strength, and readiness for the blessing he intends to bestow. You may feel a setback, a painful reversal, a moment when it seems as though you've lost ground. But Dios is not engineering your defeat. He is engineering a setup for a greater comeback, a more glorious manifestation of his power than you could have achieved on your own. Consider the story of Joseph, a vivid testament to this profound truth. He was given a magnificent dream of leadership, a vision of his family bowing before him, only to be thrown into a literal pit by his envious brothers. From the pit, he was sold into slavery, torn from his homeland and everything familiar. Then, after faithfully serving, he was unjustly accused and locked in a prison, forgotten and seemingly condemned. From a purely human perspective, his story was a tragic series of denials, dead ends, and devastating injustices. It looked like his dream was shattered, his destiny revoked. Yet every delay, every moment of suffering, every injustice he endured was not a detour from his destiny, but a necessary and purposeful part of his preparation. The pit taught him humility, stripping away any youthful arrogance and forging a deeper reliance on Dios. Slavery taught him administration and stewardship, giving him practical skills in management and leadership within a foreign system. Prison taught him patience, spiritual discernment, and how to interpret the plans of Dios even in the darkest, most confining places. He was not being denied his destiny. He was being deepened, refined, and equipped for the immense responsibilities that lay ahead. When his moment finally arrived, orchestrated by Dios with breathtaking precision, he was not just a naive dreamer, he was a seasoned leader, a wise administrator, a compassionate deliverer, ready to carry the immense weight of an entire nation on his shoulders. He had been forged in the fires of waiting, purified by adversity, and prepared by a journey that seemed on the surface to be nothing but hardship. Your delays, therefore, are not hindrances to your calling, but rather vital components of your divine curriculum. They are shaping you, sharpening you, and preparing you for a greater purpose, a more profound impact, and a more glorious manifestation of His plan than you could ever achieve without them. Trust the process, for the Master Weaver knows exactly what he is doing. There is someone listening to my voice right now who has received a final report from the world, a verdict that feels utterly conclusive and devastating. The doctor has shaken his head, delivering a prognosis that offers no hope. The banker has closed the ledger, declaring your financial situation irreparable and without recourse. The lawyer has regretfully said there are no more options, no legal avenues left to explore. You have been handed a verdict of finality, a sentence of impossibility from every earthly system you trusted. Your spirit feels crushed under the weight of these human pronouncements, and despair threatens to engulf you entirely. But I declare to you with the full authority of God's word that the reports of men are not the decrees of Deus. Human diagnoses, economic forecasts, and legal rulings, while impactful in the natural realm, are ultimately subservient to the omnipotent will of the Almighty. The very laws of nature, the fixed principles of physics and biology that govern our world, are subject to the command of the one who created nature itself. They told the woman with the issue of blood for 12 long, agonizing years that her condition was incurable, that no physician could help her, and that her suffering was her permanent reality. She had spent all her money, endured much, and only grew worse, a testament to human limitation. They told the disciples, in no uncertain terms, that Lazarus was not merely sleeping, but unequivocally dead, his body already decaying in the tomb for 4 days. Human logic and natural law dictated his fate. But when the power of Dios enters the equation, when his divine will is engaged, facts bow to truth. The immutable power of the Creator overrides the temporary limitations of his creation. Your diagnosis is not your destiny. Your financial statement is not your final chapter. Your broken relationship is not the last word on your heart. Do not allow the deafening volume of fear, doubt, and negative pronouncements to drown out the gentle, persistent whisper of your faith. You serve the Dios who speaks to raging storms and commands them to be still. You serve the Dios who heals the incurable, who restores what has been lost, and who calls forth life from the tomb. He is the God of resurrection, the master of the impossible. His voice can pierce through the gravest silence. His touch can mend the most broken and diseased body, and his command can overturn any verdict handed down by man or circumstance. Therefore, lift your head, beloved. Reject the lie of finality and embrace the truth of his limitless power. For his report is the only one that truly matters, and his decree always triumphs. Do not dare to believe for a single moment that your best years are behind you. That is an insidious lie whispered from the very pits of hell, designed to steal your future hope, to diminish your potential, and to rob you of the vibrant life Dios still has planned for you. The enemy wants you to look back with regret, to mourn what you believe is lost, and to resign yourself to a declining future. But our Dios does not operate according to such bleak human timelines or limitations. He is the God of new beginnings, of unexpected seasons, and of glorious latter-day manifestations. Consider Abraham, the father of faith. He was old, his body as good as dead in terms of natural ability to father children, and his wife Sarah was long past the age of childbearing when Dios promised him he would be the father of nations, a progenitor of an uncountable multitude. Against all biological odds, through a supernatural intervention, they held the son of promise, Isaac, in their arms. Then there was Moses, an 80-year-old shepherd, a fugitive with a stutter, who had spent decades in the wilderness, believing his life's purpose was over. Yet Dios called him to confront the most powerful empire on earth, to lead millions of people to freedom, a task that would require incredible courage, wisdom, and miraculous power. Dios does not operate on a human calendar. He does not consult your age to determine your assignment, nor does he care what society deems possible or impossible for someone of your years. His power transcends time itself. He is the Dios who restores the years the locusts have eaten, not just metaphorically, but literally. He can redeem lost time, compensate for past setbacks, and bring forth fruit in seasons previously deemed barren. He can do more in one moment of his sovereign favor, one decisive act of his grace, than you could ever achieve in a lifetime of your own striving, your own frantic efforts, or your own limited strength. The latter part of your life, the chapters yet unwritten, can be greater than the former, more fruitful, more impactful, more joyous, and more glorifying to him if you place it fully, unequivocally, in his capable hands. Do not allow the enemy to dictate your future based on your past or your present circumstances. Your age is but a number to the Ancient of Days. Your potential is limitless in the one who holds all power. Believe that the best is still yet to come, for with Dios every ending is merely a prelude to a magnificent new beginning, a fresh outpouring of his grace and purpose in your life. The greatest mistake you can make in the waiting room of your miracle, that season of prolonged anticipation and sometimes agonizing uncertainty, is to sit in silence. The enemy, that ancient foe of your soul, wants nothing more than for you to grow quiet, to nurse your wounds in solitude, to let the bitterness of delayed hope take root in your heart, poisoning your spirit. He wants you to become isolated, to feel abandoned, and to eventually surrender to the overwhelming pressure of your circumstances. But Dios, in his infinite wisdom and boundless love, calls you to do the exact opposite. He calls you to praise in the midst of the problem, to lift your voice in worship even when your heart aches and your mind is filled with question. Consider the powerful biblical account of Paul and Silas. They were not in a comfortable waiting room. They were locked in the innermost prison, unjustly beaten and bleeding, their feet painfully secured in stocks, in a situation of profound injustice and physical suffering. They had every reason to complain, to curse their circumstances, to question God's presence. But what did they do at midnight, in the darkest hour of their trial? They began to sing hymns of praise to Dios. Their worship was not a denial of their harsh reality. It was not a pretense of happiness they didn't feel. It was a profound declaration of a higher reality, a spiritual truth that transcended their immediate physical confinement. Their praise was a weapon, not against their jailers, but against the spiritual forces that sought to keep them bound. It was an act of defiant faith, an assertion of God's sovereignty even in chains. And as they praised with sincere hearts and voices, the foundations of the prison were shaken, not by an earthquake, but by the tangible power of God responding to their worship. The doors miraculously flew open, and everyone's chains, including those of other prisoners, came loose. Your praise in the storm, your worship in the wilderness, your declaration of his goodness in the face of adversity shifts the spiritual atmosphere. It confuses the enemy, disarms his strategies, and invites the chain-breaking, wall-shattering power of Dios into your situation. It is an act of faith that unlocks heaven's intervention. We are building a community here, a digital sanctuary, where faith is strengthened, where hope is renewed, and where the weary find rest for their souls. This is more than just a platform for sharing messages. We are forging a spiritual family that stands together in the unwavering belief that our Dios is a waymaker beyond all human limitations, a miracle worker who defies natural laws, and a promise keeper whose word never fails. This is a gathering of kindred spirits who refuse to give up, who choose to believe in the impossible, and who find strength in unity. Every soul that joins this ministry with a like or a subscription adds another stone to the wall of faith. We are building together against the relentless tides of doubt and despair. Each connection strengthens our collective resolve, creating a bulwark of belief that stands firm in a world filled with uncertainty. If this word, these messages of hope and truth, has found a home in your heart, stirring something deep within your spirit, it is not by chance. It is a divine appointment, a sacred call from the author of your life. I invite you to join this congregation, to become an active, cherished part of this movement of faith, so that you may continue to receive the bread of life that Dios has lovingly prepared for you in every season of your journey, ensuring your spirit remains nourished and your faith ablaze. Too many people, tragically, give up just moments before the dawn. They endure the long, dark night, battling through the shadows, clinging to a thread of hope, only to surrender to the darkness when the first faint rays of morning are about to break upon the horizon. They let the crushing pressure of the moment, the immediate weight of their circumstances, speak louder and more persuasively than the permanence and unwavering certainty of the divine promise. This is a subtle yet devastating tactic of the enemy to exhaust you to the point of capitulation just when victory is within reach. He knows that if he can make you quit, he wins. But you, beloved child of Dios, you must be different. You must be the one who stands defiantly in the fire like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, facing the roaring flames of the furnace with unshakable conviction. When commanded to bow to an idol, they boldly declared, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the Dios we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." That unwavering conviction, that stubborn, almost audacious refusal to abandon their trust in Dios, becomes a powerful magnet for the power of Dios himself. It is in that moment of absolute surrender to his will, combined with a defiant faith in his character, that the fourth man appears in the furnace with you, a tangible manifestation of divine presence. That is when the impossible is commanded to bow to the name of Dios. That is when natural laws are suspended, when the fiery darts of the enemy are quenched, and when the power of heaven breaks through the earthly realm. Your steadfastness in the face of overwhelming odds is not merely an act of human endurance, it is a sacred invitation for God to demonstrate his unparalleled might and faithfulness on your behalf, turning your trial into a testimony that echoes through eternity. Let this profound truth anchor your soul, root your spirit, and stabilize your mind amidst life's tempests. Dios is not trying to figure out a solution to your problem. He is not scratching his head in heaven, pondering how to untangle the complexities of your situation. He has already ordained it. Before the enemy ever conceived of setting the trap, Dios had already prepared the escape route, meticulously designed your deliverance. Before the tear fell from your eye, before the first pang of pain registered in your heart, he had already scheduled the precise moment of your joy, a moment of triumph so perfect it will wipe away every memory of sorrow. Your miracle, therefore, is not a question of if it will happen, but a matter of when. Its certainty is established not by your feelings or circumstances, but by the immutable character and sovereign will of Dios. And the timing of that when is intrinsically tied to the profound transformative work he is doing within you. Those who wait upon the Lord are not wasting time. They are investing it wisely like a precious commodity. They are not merely biding their time, they are actively engaging in a process of spiritual growth and refinement that will prepare them for the weight of the blessing. They are being renewed in strength, not just physically but spiritually, like the eagle soaring to new heights. They are being refined in character, shedding impurities and developing virtues that will serve them well in their coming season of favor. They are being made ready, equipped, and positioned for the weight of the glory that is to be revealed, for a blessing so grand it requires a stronger, wiser, and more resilient vessel to carry it. Your waiting, therefore, is not an empty void. It is a period of sacred preparation, an intentional incubation for a destiny you can barely fathom. Trust the process, for the master builder is perfecting his masterpiece in you. So often in our human perception, we look for miracles in the thunder and the earthquake, in the grand and spectacular displays of power that shake the very foundations of the earth. We anticipate dramatic, unmistakable interventions, loud pronouncements from heaven that leave no room for doubt. But sometimes, the most profound and deeply personal miracles arrive in a still, small voice, in whispers that require a discerning ear and a sensitive heart. They come not with fanfare, but with a quiet dignity, revealing God's presence in the most unexpected ways. They come in the quiet turn of events, a subtle shift in circumstances that defies explanation. They manifest in an unexpected phone call, arriving precisely when you needed it most, bringing news that changes everything. They appear in a door opening that you never even knocked on, an opportunity presenting itself out of the blue, defying all logical expectation. It is the sudden, inexplicable peace that floods your heart in the middle of chaos, calming the storm within you when the storm around you still rages. It is the provision that appears from a source you never anticipated, an answer to prayer manifesting from an unlikely channel. It is the miraculous change of heart in a person you thought was a permanent adversary, a softening of spirit, a bridge built where only walls stood. These are not minor occurrences. These are the fingerprints of Dios, the subtle yet powerful evidence of his active involvement in your daily life. Do not despise the day of small beginnings, nor dismiss the quiet workings of his grace simply because they lack the theatricality you might expect. Often the greatest shifts in our lives, the most pivotal transformations, happen not with a cataclysmic bang, but with a gentle yet authoritative whisper from the Dios who orchestrates all things perfectly and precisely. It is time to change your language. Far too many of Dios' beloved children spend their days describing the size of their mountain to their Dios, articulating every formidable detail of their problem, every aspect of their impossibility. They speak endlessly of their lack, their sickness, their brokenness, their defeat, essentially magnifying the problem in the presence of the solution. But Dios is calling you to a different, more powerful posture of faith. He is calling you to stand before your mountain, no matter how imposing or insurmountable it appears, and describe the size of your Dios to it. He wants you to speak his greatness, his power, and his faithfulness directly to your circumstances, shifting the focus from the problem to the problem solver. Speak life into your dead situations. If your finances are barren, speak abundance. If your health is failing, speak healing. If your relationships are broken, speak restoration. Speak favor over your future, envisioning the blessings Dios has prepared. Speak healing over your body, declaring the health that is your inheritance in Christ. Speak restoration over your family, believing for reconciliation and unity. Declare with the authority that comes from being a beloved child of the King, empowered by his Spirit. Dios will make a way for me. He will provide. He will heal. He will restore. Do not say it with a hesitant hope, but with a rock-solid conviction that resonates with heaven. Say it not because you have earned it or because you feel deserving, but because He is faithful, because His promises are true, and because His character is unchanging. Your words, when aligned with His eternal word, are not empty sounds or mere positive affirmations. They are creative forces that begin to shape the reality around you, calling forth those things that are not as though they were. They become spiritual decrees that unlock divine intervention, altering the very fabric of your circumstances. Your mouth is a powerful instrument of creation or destruction. Choose to wield it in alignment with His life-giving truth, and watch how your world begins to transform. You may be in a season right now where it feels like every door you approach slams shut in your face, leaving you reeling from the rejection. You take one step forward, filled with hope and expectation, only to be pushed 3 steps back by unforeseen obstacles and closed pathways. This relentless opposition can lead to deep discouragement, making you question your direction, your calling, and even the very presence of Dios in your life. You might wonder if you're making wrong turns, or if your efforts are simply futile. But let me assure you, beloved, the door that man closes, the opportunity that human systems deny, the path that earthly powers block, all of it is utterly irrelevant when Dios is preparing to open His own. Man can block an opportunity, he can hinder a promotion, he can deny a request, but he cannot under any circumstances block your divine destiny. When Dios' appointed time arrives, when His sovereign will determines it is the moment for your breakthrough, He does not merely open a door where one was previously closed. He creates a door where there was only a solid, impenetrable wall, demonstrating His limitless power. He does not just make a path through the wilderness, He Himself becomes the path in the middle of your wilderness, leading you where no human foot has trod before. He is the way. Trust His process even when it feels confusing, even when it feels painful. The rejection you experience, the door that slams shut in your face, may have been His divine protection, shielding you from a situation that was not aligned with His best for you. The path that seemed irrevocably blocked, forcing you to turn back, may have been Him redirecting you from a heartache you could not yet see, a future sorrow He lovingly averted. He sees beyond the immediate, understanding the intricate web of cause and effect. What seems like a closed door today might be the very act of grace that preserves you for a far greater, more glorious open door tomorrow. Trust the unseen hand that guides you. Never curse the journey that has shaped you, no matter how arduous, painful, or confusing it may have been. The struggle that wounded you, that left you scarred and weary, also taught you how to stand, how to find resilience, how to draw upon an inner strength you never knew you possessed. The fire that burned you, that tested your resolve and threatened to consume you, also purified your purpose, stripping away the dross and leaving behind only the pure gold of your calling. The greatest transformation in the human spirit comes not through comfort and ease, but through challenge, through the crucible of adversity that refines and strengthens. Dios is far more interested in your character, in who you are becoming in Him, than He is in your temporary comfort. He prioritizes your eternal formation over your immediate ease. Sometimes the miracle is not just in what He does for you, the external intervention or provision, but profoundly, deeply in what He is doing in you through the trial. He is molding you, shaping you into His image, strengthening you from the inside out, so that when the promise is finally placed in your hands, when the blessing you've waited for arrives, you will have the wisdom, the maturity, the humility, and the spiritual fortitude to steward it for His glory, not for your own. Do not run from the trial, beloved. Do not shrink from the discomfort. Instead, yield to the master sculptor. Let him finish the good work he has begun in you, for it is through this process that you are being prepared for a destiny far beyond what you can currently conceive. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every difficulty a chance to deepen your roots in him. Embrace the journey, knowing that every step, even the painful ones, is leading you closer to the fulfillment of his magnificent purpose for your life. I feel a fire in my soul, a burning conviction to tell you that your moment is coming, that long-awaited breakthrough, the one you've prayed for with such intensity and longed for with such desperation, that unexpected favor that will open doors you never imagined, that answer you had almost given up on, resigning yourself to its impossibility. It is on the horizon. The very air is charged with its imminent arrival. But hear this truth. You must keep walking. You must keep believing. You must not succumb to weariness or doubt. The enemy, in his cunning and desperation, will work hardest to discourage you when you are closest to your victory. He will unleash a storm of doubt, a wave of fear, a chorus of negative voices, both external and internal, to make you waver, to make you question everything, to convince you to give up just before you cross the finish line. He will throw everything he has at you in this final stretch because he knows how close you are. This is not a time to retreat. It is a time to advance with fervent faith. You must stand firm, immovable in your conviction. Guard your heart with all diligence, for it is the wellspring of life, and it is where your hope resides. Protect your expectation from the insidious whispers of despair, holding fast to the promises of Dios, as if your very life depends on them, because it does. Your miracle is too close to surrender now. Your purpose, divinely ordained and eternally significant, is too great to abandon. And your Dios, the faithful one, is too faithful, too committed, too intimately involved in your life to let you fall. Keep your eyes fixed not on the raging waves of your circumstances, but on the one who walks on water, who commands the wind and the sea, and who is walking towards you even now. There is a divine principle you must grasp with unwavering certainty, a truth that liberates and empowers. Dios does not need favorable conditions to perform a miracle. He is not constrained by earthly limitations, by economic downturns, by scientific impossibilities, or by human consensus. He is not waiting for the economy to improve before he can bless you, for the doctor's report to change before he can heal you, or for a certain person to approve of you before he can promote you. His power is entirely independent of external factors and human cooperation. He is the Deus who speaks, and worlds are framed. Planets are set in motion, stars ignite, and life springs forth from nothingness. When he decides to act, when his sovereign will is engaged, he overrides the natural with the supernatural. He commanded light to shine out of darkness, defying the very absence of illumination. He told a virgin, Mary, that she would conceive a son, defying biological laws. He called a dead man, Lazarus, to come out of a tomb, defying the finality of death itself. These are not mere stories, they are demonstrations of a power that operates outside and above the confines of our natural understanding. He does not operate within the realm of the possible, for the possible is limited by human capacity and natural law. He operates in the realm of his own sovereign will, a realm where all things are possible and where his word alone is sufficient to bring forth any reality. The one you have placed your trust in is not limited by the reality you see with your natural eyes, the circumstances that scream impossibility. He is the author of a reality you cannot yet imagine, a future so glorious, so miraculous, so filled with his presence and power that it defies all human comprehension. Trust in his limitless ability, for he is the God of the impossible. I speak directly now to the heart that has been circling the same mountain for years, a mountain of unresolved issues, persistent struggles, or unfulfilled promises. You have prayed with fervent passion, you have fasted with disciplined devotion, you have knocked on every door and explored every avenue until your knuckles are raw, and yet the way forward remains stubbornly blocked. You cry out in desperation, Dios, when will this end? How much longer must I endure this circuitous journey? The weariness of repeated effort without visible progress can be utterly soul-crushing, leading to a profound sense of futility and despair. But what you must realize, what you must grasp with spiritual understanding, is that sometimes Dios will hold back what you have asked for. Not because he is unwilling or unable to give it, but in order to prepare you for what you did not know you needed. The no you are hearing, or the extended silence you are experiencing, may not be a rejection of your prayer, but a divine redirection to a better path, a more profound blessing. The pause is not punishment. It is often his protection, shielding you from dangers or outcomes you cannot perceive from your limited vantage point. You are not walking in circles, beloved. You are being trained in persistence, forged in the fires of endurance, and developed in the school of faith. Every lap around that mountain, every repeated prayer, every moment of sustained trust is stretching your faith to new capacities, deepening your roots in His truth, and building an endurance that will be absolutely required for the next season of your life. Dios is not prolonging your struggle aimlessly. He is purposefully preparing you, strengthening you, and making you ready for the weight of the glory and responsibility that is to come. Embrace the training, for it is producing something invaluable within you. Let this be perfectly clear. Engraved upon the tablets of your heart, there is no power in heaven, on earth, or under the earth that can ultimately stand against the determined will of the Almighty Dios. No demonic principality, no human institution, no natural disaster, no opposing force can thwart His plans or cancel His decrees concerning your life. If He has decreed a blessing for your life, if He has etched a promise in the eternal realms specifically for you, then no demon in hell and no man on earth has the authority or the power to stop it. What He has ordained, He will bring to pass. When your appointed time comes, and it will come with absolute certainty, all the pieces will fall into place with breathtaking precision. It will be a divine orchestration, a symphony of circumstances aligned by the master conductor. The right people will show up, stepping into your life at the perfect moment to assist or propel you forward. The necessary resources will be released, appearing from unexpected sources, providing exactly what is needed. The long-awaited opportunity will manifest, clear and undeniable, opening a door that no one can shut. It will not be 1 minute early or 1 minute late. It will be on Del's perfect schedule, a testament to His impeccable timing. Do not measure your progress by what you can see with your natural eyes, by the immediate circumstances that often lie and deceive. Your journey is a sacred one, intricately tailored specifically for you, designed by the one who knows every strand of your being and every step of your path. What Dios is doing in your life may be hidden from human view, unseen by those around you, but it is holy. It is a work of divine significance, unfolding according to an eternal blueprint. Trust the unseen hand, for it is guiding you towards a destiny far greater and more glorious than you can possibly imagine. His hidden work is just as powerful and purposeful as His visible manifestations. You are not walking this path alone, beloved. Even when the shadows are deepest and the path feels most solitary, in the valley of the shadow of death, when fear tries to engulf you and despair whispers its insidious lies, He is with you. His rod and his staff, his comfort and his guidance are ever present. When you pass through the treacherous waters of adversity, when the floods of trouble threaten to overwhelm you, they will not sweep you away, for his hand is holding you firm. When you walk through the fire of trials and purification, you will not be burned, nor will the flames consume you, for he is your protector and your deliverer. He is closer than the very air you breathe, more intimately connected to your spirit than you can conceive. When friends forsake you, when those you trusted turn away, when family misunderstands your journey and criticizes your faith, when your own heart condemns you with guilt and self-reproach, Dios remains. He is the unwavering, steady hand in your chaos, the unmoving anchor for your soul in the midst of the raging storm. He allows the weight of the trial not to crush you, but so that you will discover in the depths of your weakness the unparalleled strength and unwavering presence of His Spirit within you. You were never meant to carry this burden by yourself. It is a lie of the enemy that you must bear your suffering in isolation. It is precisely in your weakness, in your moments of deepest vulnerability and utter depletion, that His strength is made perfect, that His power shines most brightly through your humanity. It is when you finally let go of your grip, when you release your need to control and carry everything on your own, that you find yourself truly held, truly sustained, truly empowered by the one who is able to do immeasurably more than all you ask or imagine. Lean into His embrace, for He is your constant companion and your ultimate deliverer. To the one who feels forgotten, like a seed buried deep in the earth, hidden from the light, seemingly dormant and unnoticed by the world, remember this profound truth from the natural world: the seed that lies buried the longest, enduring the deepest darkness and the most intense pressure of the soil, often produces the most magnificent, deeply rooted and abundant fruit. Just because no one sees your growth, just because your progress is not visible to the casual observer, does not mean it is not happening. On the contrary, some of the most profound and essential work is done in obscurity, away from the spotlight. Dios does His most profound, foundational, and transformative work in the dark, in the hidden places of your life, in those seasons of quiet incubation where only His eye can penetrate. He is cultivating something precious and powerful in you that the world is not yet ready to see. A character forged in resilience, a wisdom distilled through waiting, a strength born of dependence on Him alone. But when He chooses to bring you forth, when your season of revealing comes, when the time is right for your emergence, the world will stand in awe of what He has been nurturing in silence all along. Your perceived obscurity, therefore, is not a punishment or a sign of neglect. It is your sacred period of incubation, a divinely appointed time of deep preparation and growth. Do not despise it. Do not resent the darkness or the hiddenness. Honor it as the sacred space where Dios is preparing you for greatness, where He is shaping you into a vessel capable of carrying a weighty and glorious destiny. Like a diamond formed under immense pressure, you are being transformed into something incredibly valuable and beautiful. Trust the process, for the gardener of your soul knows precisely when to bring his masterpiece to full bloom. Let your faith rise tonight, beloved friend. Let it surge within your spirit, not because everything suddenly makes sense, not because all your questions have been answered, but because you choose to trust the one who holds all things together, who is the author and finisher of your faith. Let your hope be stubborn, tenacious, refusing to yield to despair, even when circumstances scream otherwise. Let your belief be a lion's roar in the face of discouragement, a thunderous proclamation that reverberates through the spiritual realm, silencing the whispers of the enemy. What Dios spoke into your spirit years ago, that promise He breathed into your innermost being, has not expired. His promises do not have a statute of limitations. They are eternal and unchanging, independent of human timelines or forgetfulness. His word, once spoken, will not return to him void or unfulfilled. It will accomplish the very purpose for which he sent it, a purpose etched in the fabric of eternity. Not one syllable of his promise over your life will fall to the ground unfulfilled. Every single word will come to pass with divine precision. All he asks of you is that you hold on, that you refuse to let go, that you maintain your grip on his truth. All he asks is that you believe, even when the evidence of your senses contradicts the promise. And that belief, my friend, is not a passive wish or a faint hope. It is an active force, a dynamic spiritual energy that calls heaven to intervene in the affairs of earth. It is a powerful declaration that sets in motion the gears of divine providence, compelling God to act on your behalf. So let your faith rise, for it is the very currency of heaven, the catalyst for your miracle, and the engine that propels you toward the fulfillment of his magnificent plan. Do not allow your present circumstances, no matter how dire or daunting they may appear, to define your future expectation. The fleeting, temporary realities of this world are not the final arbiter of your destiny. Instead, let the unchanging character of Dios define your confidence. His nature is eternal, his faithfulness unwavering, and his power limitless. He is not a man that he should lie or change his mind. His word is steadfast, a rock upon which you can build your entire life. He does not grow weary or faint in his purposes. He does not forget the promises he has made to you, for his memory is perfect. He does not dangle a promise before you only to snatch it away, for he is a God of integrity and love. If he said he would make a way, then a way will be made, regardless of the apparent impossibility. It may be through the fire of purification, where every impurity is burned away. It may be through the flood of overwhelming challenges, where his presence keeps you from drowning. It may be through a valley so dark and desolate that you cannot even see your own hand in front of your face. You may not understand the method of his working, the intricate process he employs, but you must trust the outcome, for it is always good, always perfect, always aligned with his loving purpose. You may not see the next step before you, enveloped in a fog of uncertainty, but you must trust the guide, the one who knows the path from beginning to end, who has walked it before you, and who holds your hand securely. He has brought you this far through countless trials and triumphs, not to abandon you now. His past faithfulness is a powerful predictor of his future intervention. He will complete what he has started. Therefore, cast off the garments of fear and doubt, and clothe yourself in the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing the unchanging, unfailing character of your dies. Your future is secure in his hand. So, rise. Rise in your spirit, beloved child of Dios. Rise not because the struggle is suddenly over, or because all your problems have miraculously vanished. Rise because your Dios is infinitely greater than any struggle, any challenge, any mountain you face. Lift your head, not because the burden is miraculously gone, but because the one who carries it with you, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, is more than capable of bearing its weight. Stand in faith, not because you feel strong or capable in your own abilities, but because his strength is perfected in your weakness, illuminating his power through your vulnerability. You have questioned long enough, agonizing over the whys and the how of your circumstances. You have wept long enough, shedding tears of sorrow, frustration, and doubt. Now a new season is dawning. Now is the time to believe again, to rekindle that sacred fire of faith within your soul. Believe not in what you can do, for your capacity is limited. Believe instead in the unstoppable, undeniable, unshakable power of Dios's will for your life. Believe that His mighty hand is upon you, guiding and guarding you every step of the way. Believe that His perfect plan is unfolding precisely and purposefully, even when you cannot perceive it. And believe that His promise spoken over your life is alive and active, moving heaven and earth to manifest its truth. This is your moment to rise in faith. Keep walking. Even if the path ahead is shrouded in mist and uncertainty. Keep hoping, even when despair whispers its siren song. Keep speaking faith into the atmosphere, for your words have creative power. Because at the appointed time, at the precise moment ordained by heaven, your miracle will not be delayed by a single second. It will arrive with an impeccable timing that leaves no room for human explanation or doubt. And when it comes, it will come with such clarity, such swiftness, such undeniable power that everyone around you, even the skeptics and the cynics, will be forced to say, with a sense of profound awe, "Surely this is the Lord's doing. This is truly miraculous." You will not have to explain it, to rationalize it, or to defend it against accusations of luck or coincidence. The fruit of your faith, the visible manifestation of God's goodness, will be your irrefutable testimony. The undeniable, tangible evidence of Dia's power will speak more loudly and more eloquently than your words ever could. Your story, once marked by struggle and waiting, will become a radiant signpost of hope for countless others who are walking through their own dark valleys, inspiring them to believe in the God who makes a way where there is no way. Your breakthrough will not just be for you, it will be a beacon for many. Many souls walk through this life, bowed low by the crushing weight of unanswered questions, questions that gnaw at their peace and erode their trust. Why is Dios silent when I need Him most? Why is the way still closed, despite all my prayers and efforts? Has He truly forgotten me in my hour of desperate need? These are the cries of a suffering heart, echoing through the empty chambers of unmet expectation. But I must tell you with the fullness of conviction that resides in my soul, the silence of Dios is not the absence of Dios. His stillness is not neglect, it is precision. It is the careful, meticulous work of a master craftsman who knows exactly what he is doing. When Dios chooses to delay, it is never without a holy, redemptive purpose. His pauses are strategic, divinely orchestrated interludes designed not to frustrate you, not to test your patience merely for the sake of it, but to prepare you, refine you, and position you for the very blessing you have been fervently praying for. Before every great miracle in Scripture, from the parting of the Red Sea to the raising of Lazarus, there was often a period of intense testing, a time of profound uncertainty, where faith was stretched to its breaking point. The difference between those who witness His power in undeniable ways and those who miss it entirely is often the stubborn, unwavering refusal to stop believing, even when all hope seems lost. There will be seasons, beloved, when Dios intentionally strips away every crutch you have been leaning on, every human reassurance, every earthly comfort that has subtly become a substitute for Him. He will remove the noise of distractions, the comforts of familiarity, the human reassurances that promise security but ultimately cannot deliver. He does this not to leave you empty, vulnerable, or abandoned, but to remind you in the most profound way possible of who your true, ultimate, and unfailing source is. He is redirecting your gaze, bringing you back to the wellspring of all life. He will lead you, sometimes through challenging and uncomfortable paths, into a place where only His voice can guide you, clear and unmistakable amidst the quiet. It is a place where only His hand can provide, manifesting provision in ways that leave no doubt of His supernatural care. It is a place where only His power can bring you through, demonstrating His might when all your own strength has failed. That is not punishment, my friend. That is intimacy. It is in that seemingly desolate place that faith ceases to be a mere theological concept, a set of doctrines, and becomes a living fire in your bones, a vibrant, burning reality that lights your way through the suffocating darkness. He is teaching you to know His voice, to discern His leading, above all others, forging an unbreakable bond of trust. The miracle you are waiting for, the breakthrough that occupies your thoughts and prayers, is not just about the outcome, the tangible manifestation of your desire. It is, perhaps even more importantly, about the revelation, the unveiling of deeper truths, the profound insights into God's character and your own identity in Him. It is not just about what Deus will do for you, the external blessing, but about the profound transformative work He is doing in you, the internal shaping that prepares you for greater things. He is forging a strength in your spirit, an unbreakable resilience that no future storm, no unforeseen adversity will be able to shake or dismantle. He is developing a resilience in your heart, a steadfastness that will not crumble under pressure, that will endure when all else gives way. When you choose to believe in the face of absolute impossibility, when you keep walking forward with tears in your eyes, bruised but not broken, you are making a powerful, undeniable declaration with your very life. My Deus is bigger than this mountain, bigger than this problem, bigger than any obstacle that stands before me, and I assure you with unwavering certainty, Deus does not overlook that kind of perseverance. He does not ignore the prayer whispered at midnight, born of a desperate yet believing heart. That kind of faith, that persistent, unwavering trust, reaches the throne room of heaven and moves the very hand of Deus, activating His intervention in the affairs of earth. Do not measure the size of your mountain, for to do so is to magnify your problem and diminish your Deus. Instead, measure the size of your Deus and watch how your mountain shrinks in comparison. Do not magnify your struggle, giving it power and prominence in your thoughts. Instead, magnify the one who commands the winds and the waves to be still, the one who holds all creation in His hands. He is not a distant, aloof observer of your suffering, watching from afar with disinterest. He is the master weaver, intricately working all things, even the pain, even the betrayals, even the setbacks, even the misunderstandings, into a glorious tapestry of triumph and redemption. Nothing is wasted in His economy. When the moment comes for Him to step in, for His divine intervention to manifest, everything will change in an instant. It will be sudden, a dramatic shift that defies gradual explanation. It will be undeniable, leaving no room for human doubt or skepticism. It will be overwhelming in its beauty, in its precision, in its sheer demonstration of His love and power. And when it happens, when the miracle unfolds before your very eyes, you will not be able to take credit for it. It will be so clear, so transparently divine, that only Deus could have done it, so that all glory, all honor, and all praise returns directly to Him, where it rightfully belongs. This is His ultimate design, that He alone be glorified in your story. Until that moment arrives, that glorious intersection of divine timing and human faith, your assignment is simple, yet profoundly powerful. Believe. Keep the door of your heart wide open to hope, refusing to allow despair or cynicism to enter. Speak with confidence, even if your voice trembles with residual fear, for your words carry spiritual weight. Walk with expectation, even when the path before you is shrouded in a thick fog of uncertainty, for your steps are guided by an unseen hand. Speak what you believe about your Deus, not merely what you see with your natural eyes, for faith is the evidence of things unseen. Your words of faith, saturated with conviction and trust, create a spiritual atmosphere that invites and empowers your miracle to manifest. And do not, under any circumstances, fall into the enemy's cunning trap of comparing your journey, your timeline, or your blessings with someone else. Your timeline is sacred, a unique design woven by the Master Weaver specifically for you. What Deus has planned for you is a custom design, perfectly tailored for your specific calling, your unique personality, and your particular purpose. He is not late. He is meticulously aligning every single detail, seen and unseen, to match the precious promise He whispered into your spirit so long ago. You are not forgotten. You are being divinely prepared. Jesus is still writing your story. Even if it feels like the current chapter you are in is stalled, stuck in a repetitive loop, or moving painfully slowly, even if the plot seems to have gone entirely wrong, taking unexpected and unwelcome turns, the author is not finished. The pen is still in his hand, and he holds the power to redeem every page, to rewrite every struggle into a triumph. And what lies ahead in the chapters to come, the unfolding narrative of your life, is far greater, more glorious, and more impactful than anything you have left behind, anything you have lost, or anything you have endured. What is coming will be worth every sleepless night you spent wrestling in prayer, every tear that fell in secret onto your pillow, every prayer you thought went unheard or unanswered. Not 1 ounce of your pain has been wasted in His economy. Deus bottles your tears, treasuring each drop as a testament to your trust and your suffering, for He is deeply moved with compassion for His children. The enemy will tirelessly try to distract you with fear, to discourage you with lies, and to convince you that your story is over. But you must speak back with the truth, the unchanging, liberating truth of God's Word. Declare it boldly: Deus is still on the throne. He is not finished with me. He will not abandon the work of His hands. Your story is still being written, and the best is yet to come. You must remember this fundamental truth when you walk with Deus. When your life is surrendered to His will and your steps are guided by His Spirit, you are never walking toward defeat. You are always invariably walking through it. Your path may lead you through the fiercest battles, the deepest valleys, and the most formidable obstacles. But the destination is always victory. Weapons may be formed against you, meticulously crafted by the enemy, but they will not prosper, they will not achieve their destructive aim. Walls may rise before you, seemingly impenetrable, but they will fall, crumbling before the power of His presence. The presence of Deus in your life is not a symbolic comfort, a mere spiritual sentiment. It is raw power, a dynamic, active force that reshapes reality. You are not relying on wishful thinking, on a fragile hope that might dissipate with the next storm. You are relying on the one who spoke the cosmos into existence with a single word, whose power framed the galaxies and brought life from chaos. That same creative power, that same authoritative voice, has set His hand upon your life, anointing you, guiding you, and empowering you. Stop judging your progress by what your senses can perceive, by the temporary ups and downs of your circumstances. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. It is the conviction of what is true in the spiritual realm, even when it is not yet manifest in the natural. It is the inner fire that declares, with unshakable certainty, my circumstances are not my destiny. My Deus has the final say, and His word will prevail. There will be times, crucial turning points in your journey, when you are called to walk toward a door that exists only in the realm of faith, a door that has not yet been built in the natural visible world. This is a call to audacious, pioneering faith, to step out into the unseen with only the promise of Deus as your guide. When others mock your vision, when they doubt your path, when their limited understanding causes them to question your sanity, You must stand firm. You must speak with quiet confidence, rooted in an unshakable inner conviction. I walk not by sight, by what my eyes can perceive, but by faith, by what my spirit knows to be true. And I know my Dios is making a way for me, even if I cannot see it yet. This is the belief that makes the impossible bow to the will of the Almighty. It is the kind of faith that moves mountains and parts seas. He does not need your enemies to agree with him or to cooperate with his plan. Their opposition is irrelevant to his power. He does not need your family to understand him or to support your calling. His wisdom transcends human comprehension. He does not need your history of failures or shortcomings to approve him. His grace triumphs over all past mistakes. When he says yes to your life, when his divine decree is issued, no one and nothing in heaven, on earth, or under the earth can say no. And his no, or his season of delay, is just as holy, just as merciful, and just as purposeful as his yes and his breakthrough. Trust in the totality of his perfect will. Do not be disheartened, beloved, when others seem to rise effortlessly while you are still waiting, still enduring, still praying. Their timeline is not your truth. Their blessings are not a measure of your worthiness. Their pace is not your promise. You are not late. You are not behind schedule. You are precisely on Dio's perfect schedule, and his timing, though often mysterious to us, is always impeccable, always divine. While you feel hidden from the world's view, he is diligently developing your roots, strengthening your foundation, preparing you for unshakable stability. While you feel delayed, he is intentionally increasing your capacity, expanding your ability to receive and steward the blessing that is coming. You are not waiting in vain. Every moment of this sacred pause is purposeful. You are being prepared to receive a blessing so glorious, so heavy with divine purpose, so rich in spiritual significance, that it requires a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of you to carry it effectively for his glory. The process hurts. The refining fire is intense, because the promise is great, requiring a profound transformation to receive it. He is ensuring that when the blessing comes, when the breakthrough finally manifests, it will not overwhelm or break you, but will instead become a stable, powerful platform for his glory to be magnified through your life. Embrace the preparation, for it is making you ready for extraordinary things. Sometimes, in his infinite wisdom and boundless love, Dios withholds the visible miracle, not out of stinginess or neglect, but to preserve an eternal lesson, a deeper truth that would be lost in an instantaneous manifestation. If he gave you the answer too soon, too easily, you might forget the profound intimacy you found in the searching, the desperate seeking that brought you closer to his heart. If he released the breakthrough too easily, without the intervening struggle, you might overlook the invaluable strength you gained in the struggle, the resilience forged in the fires of adversity. The journey itself is as important as the destination. But when you have been through the fire and walked through the flood, when you have survived what logically should have destroyed you, when you emerge from the crucible of suffering, still standing, still believing, still praising, you will know beyond any shadow of a doubt that it was Dios, only Dios. And that knowing, that deep, unshakable testimony etched into the very core of your being, is a treasure more valuable, more enduring, and more life-changing than the miracle itself. It is the gold of an unshakable faith. Rest in this liberating truth, beloved. You are not fighting for a miracle. You are walking toward one that is already written into your destiny, preordained and perfectly secured by the King of Kings. Your part is simply to walk in faith towards it. While you wait, while you navigate this sacred season of preparation, guard your thoughts diligently and guard your mouth. with utmost care. Your internal world and your spoken words have profound spiritual power. Speak only what aligns with the promise of Dios, with His eternal word, not with the shifting sands of your circumstances or the dictates of human opinion. If you speak defeat, you empower fear in your own spirit and in the atmosphere around you. If you speak doubt, you inadvertently invite delay, creating resistance to the very breakthrough you long for. But if you speak the truth of Dios, if you declare life where there is death, healing where there is sickness, and breakthrough where there is stagnation, you become a living, breathing conduit for His divine power. Your voice becomes a trumpet of victory, echoing the sound of heaven's decree in the face of earthly impossibility. I tell you again, with all the conviction in my soul, Dios has not forgotten you. You are closer now, closer to the fulfillment of His promise than you have ever been. And when your moment comes, it will happen so fast, so powerfully, so unequivocally, that all the years of waiting, all the pain and uncertainty will collapse into a single breathtaking moment of glorious fulfillment. In that moment, when the breakthrough finally manifests, you will stand overwhelmed, not just by the miracle itself, by the sheer magnitude of what Dios has done, but by the profound, unwavering faithfulness of the one who brought you through it all. You will not just rejoice in the blessing, you will rejoice in the wisdom of the waiting, understanding with perfect clarity how every delay served a divine purpose. You will see with perfect clarity that His plan was always better, more intricate, more comprehensive than your own limited vision. You will understand that His way was always higher, His methods often mysterious, but always perfect. And you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that His timing was always right, leading you to the most perfect manifestation of His will. This is not the end of your story, but rather the proving ground where your faith is forged like steel in the fires of adversity, and your soul is anchored irrevocably in the solid rock of ages. And when the way is finally revealed, and it will be revealed with glorious certainty, you will walk through it not as a beggar pleading for scraps, but as a child of the King, rightful heir to His promises. You will walk not as a mere survivor clinging to life, but as a conqueror who believed fiercely and unyieldingly in the promise of your Dios. This is your destiny, to glorify Him through your unwavering faith and the undeniable testimony of His power in your life. There are moments, profound and deeply personal, when all you have left is a whisper of hope, a single fragile flicker of strength. In the overwhelming midst of chaos and despair, your resources are depleted, your energy drained, and the very will to continue seems to wane. But if that whisper, that tiny spark, is anchored in belief, it carries more power, more spiritual weight, and more potential for divine intervention than 1,000 shouts of doubt or the loudest pronouncements of impossibility. It is the persistent, quiet voice of faith that ultimately triumphs. When your weary spirit, at its absolute limit, reaches out for Dios with even the smallest gesture of trust, His strength, limitless and unyielding, rushes in to meet your weakness, infusing you with a power that transcends your human capacity. When your heart refuses to quit, even when the world, with its logic and its despair, says it should, that is the sacred place where impossibility begins to bow, where the immovable obstacles begin to shift. Dios does not see the obstacle blocking your path, the mountain looming large. He sees the victory that lies gloriously beyond it, the breakthrough that is already ordained. While you measure your life in terms of problems and finite timelines, constrained by earthly understanding, He operates in the eternal realms of purpose and eternity, where His vision knows no bounds. What looks like a frustrating delay to you, a moment of stagnation, is a divine setup to Him, a strategic repositioning for a greater, more profound manifestation of His glory. Trust his perspective, for it encompasses all things, from everlasting to everlasting. Do not be seduced by the illusion of permanence, that deceptive belief that your current negative circumstances are fixed and unchangeable. A closed door is not your final destination. It is simply a temporary redirection, a signal that Dios has a better, more perfect opening plan for you. A broken heart is not your destiny. It is a profound wound that he promises to heal, to bind up, and to restore to wholeness, filling it with his divine love. These difficult points in your life are not stopping points designed to halt your progress permanently. They are transitions, crucial thresholds between one season and the next. And transitions are always uncomfortable, for they stretch your soul, forcing you to grow beyond your current limitations and testing the very foundation of your faith. But if you hold fast to Dios, if you cling to his unchanging character and his unfailing promises, he will reveal what the struggle was ultimately preparing you for, the profound lessons and strengths forged in the fire. Pressure does not exist to crush you, to break your spirit irrevocably, but to uncover the inherent strength and unshakable faith that Dios has already placed within you. Strength rises not when the sea is calm and life is easy, but when the storm is at its fiercest, when you are forced to rely entirely on him. He is birthing something in you, a spiritual resilience, an inner fortitude that cannot be destroyed by external conditions, a glorious testimony to his transformative power. Some of you, beloved children of Dios, feel profoundly overlooked. You have watched others around you seem to rise with ease, achieving success and recognition, while you remain hidden, toiling in obscurity, and the enemy whispers insidious lies that you are forgotten, that your efforts are in vain. But I tell you the truth, a profound spiritual principle: the longer the preparation, the deeper the roots, and the greater the eventual impact. When Dios chooses to hide you, when he places you in a season of quiet anonymity, it is because he is diligently fortifying you, strengthening your inner man, building a foundation that will withstand any storm. He is shaping you meticulously and precisely into someone who can not only handle the weight of the glorious destiny he has planned for you, but also steward it with wisdom, humility, and grace. What is coming for you is not a surface-level blessing, not a fleeting moment of success. It is a foundation-shifting, destiny-aligning breakthrough that will ripple out and touch countless others, extending his kingdom and his glory far beyond your immediate sphere. Your obedience in the unseen becomes a powerful testimony. Your endurance in the face of delay becomes a radiant light of hope. Your belief, even in the absence of evidence, becomes a catalyst for others to believe again. Stop minimizing what Dios can do through you, for his plans are always expansive and eternally significant. Dios does not consult your history, your past mistakes, or your perceived failures to determine your destiny. His power is not limited by your previous shortcomings, by the opinions of others, or by the labels the world has placed upon you. He specializes in using the unlikely, the underestimated, the broken, the seemingly unqualified, so that when it is all said and done, when the miracle manifests, only he can receive the glory. When every odd was stacked against you, when every logical pathway was blocked, but you rose anyway, then it is clear, undeniably, that Dios alone made the way, demonstrating his power through your yieldedness. Open your eyes, not to what is going wrong or what has failed, but to what is still miraculously possible in him. Open your ears, not to the cacophony of the doubters, the critics, or the voices of despair, but to the gentle, persistent whisper of his promise, for his word is life. He is still working behind the scenes, orchestrating, aligning, and creating. He is still turning dry seasons into life-giving rivers, dead ends into majestic highways of purpose, and ashes into crowns of profound beauty and eternal significance. Your past does not define you. His present grace and future glory do. When your miracle finally arrives, beloved, when the long-awaited promise manifests in your life, you will look back and see with perfect clarity that every delay, every moment of waiting, every season of struggle had a divine, intentional purpose. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your promise, preparing it for a bountiful harvest. Every prayer you lifted, every whispered petition set the spiritual atmosphere, creating the conditions for divine intervention. Every step of obedience you took, even when you did not understand the reason or the direction, was meticulously building the path straight to your breakthrough, piece by piece. And in that moment, that glorious culmination of faith and perseverance, you will weep, not from sorrow or pain, but from overwhelming awe, from the sheer magnificence of His faithfulness. You will say with a heart overflowing with gratitude, "Now I see. It was never just about the miracle itself, the external blessing I longed for. It was about knowing my Dios intimately and profoundly, not just in the blessing, but in the fire, in the silence, in the struggle. So press on. Do not stop. Do not let go of the promise. The way is being made, not by your might or your cleverness, but by the unstoppable, unyielding power of the Almighty Dios. Believe again, hope again, walk again, for your breakthrough is closer than you think." And so as you stand at the very edge of all you have been through, with the weight of the waiting still heavy on your soul, threatening to pull you back into despair, let this one truth burn away all fear, all doubt, all uncertainty like a purifying flame. Dios will make a way. It is not a possibility, a hopeful wish, or a mere suggestion. It is a promise, a divine decree, an unalterable certainty established by the King of Kings. The delays you experienced did not cancel His majestic plan for your life. The seasons of silence, though painful and perplexing, did not nullify His powerful word that was spoken over you. His hand is still upon your life, guiding you, guarding you, and gracing you with His presence. And the path, though you cannot yet see it with your natural eyes, is being carved through your wilderness even now by His mighty power, preparing the way for your triumphant journey. Be anchored, beloved, in the unchanging character of your Deus. He is not a distant observer of your pain. He is the intimate author of your breakthrough, intricately weaving every thread of your experience into a masterpiece of His glory. Lift your head, wipe your tears, take another step forward, for He is moving in your favor, orchestrating events on your behalf. And when the door swings wide, when the miracle unfolds, stand there in awe, knowing with humble certainty that it was never your strength, never your wisdom, never your striving. It was Deus, only Deus, always Deus. Believe it, for He is making a way for you right now, in this very moment.